His suit was cut so clean the mirror couldn't find a thread. Every stitch was running inward, every seam was perfectly fed. He walked into the room and every eye agreed he was the man. And the paper on the table had a signature already planned. He smiled like every answer and he shook like every deal. And the pattern on his jacket was so tight you couldn't feel the place where the lining met the shell, the place where the cloth was joined. Every surface was continuous and every word was coined from the same mint and the same press with the same stamp bearing the same face. And nobody looked twice because the suit was holding every thread in place. And the room believed the suit before the room believed the man, because the weave was so consistent that the eye just overran the question underneath the collar, the needle underneath the charm. The suit was its own evidence and the evidence was warm. Coherence, coherence, the pattern is the proof. Every thread confirms the thread beside it and the thread above the roof. And the room signs on the line because the seam is never found. And the needle's still inside the cloth, but the suit won't make a sound. Beautiful, consistent, complete, the most perfect thing you'll ever need. That isn't true. He sold them 3 buildings and a bridge that didn't stand. He sold them 7 futures on a company of sand. And every presentation had a chart that matched the chart before. And every number held the hand of every number on the floor. They audited the pattern and the pattern passed the test, because the audit checks the weave and the weave was always dressed in the same direction with the same thread and the same tight line. And the bridge that didn't stand was standing perfectly inside the design. And the accountant said the numbers are internally consistent. And the lawyer said the contracts reference each other at a distance. And the board said the projections follow logically from the base. And the base was made of nothing, but the nothing wore a face that matched every other face in every other room he'd ever walked into. With that perfect suit, coherence, coherence, the pattern is the proof. Every thread confirmed the thread beside it and the thread above the roof. And the room signs on the line because the seam is never found. And the needle's still inside the cloth, but the suit won't make a sound. Beautiful, consistent, complete, the most perfect thing you'll ever meet. That isn't true. And then a girl, the daughter of the man who signed the bridge, she walked into the meeting room and stood beside the ridge of papers on the table. And she looked at him and said, why does the chart go up forever when the building isn't fair? And the room went still. The question wasn't in the weave, the question was a finger on the seam that you believe can't exist because the suit is perfect and the stitch is clean. But the girl wasn't checking stitches, she was asking what they mean. And thread pulled and the lining showed, and the suit that had no seam at every seam. And the bridge that stood inside the chart had never stood at all. Coherence, coherence, the pattern was the proof. Every thread confirmed the thread beside it and the thread above the roof. And the room signed on the line because the seam was never found, but the need The thread is in a bag.